Welcome, dear followers. Today's story is titled Trump and the Bandits. We hope you enjoy it. But before we begin, don't forget to support us by subscribing to the channel and activating the notification bell so you can stay updated with all our news stories and adventures. If you enjoy this story, please hit the like button and share your thoughts with us in the comments. Your support helps us bring you more exciting stories. Now, sit back and listen as we share the details of this intriguing tale. We wish you an enjoyable listen. Once upon a time, in the old days, there was a wise man named Trump. One peaceful day, Trump decided to travel to a distant village to visit an old friend he hadn't seen in years. Trump packed some provisions and tied a small bag to his donkey's back, excited for the new adventure ahead. The road was long and rough, but it didn't lack humor. Trump sang and laughed with his donkey, bringing joy to the journey. As Trump traveled through the dense forest, he noticed the sky darkening and strong winds began to blow. He thought about turning back, but since he had already covered so much ground, he decided to continue. After a while, he reached a fork in the road where three paths split, and he didn't know which one to take. He looked at his donkey and said, "What do you think, my loyal friend? Which path should we take?" Of course, the donkey didn't answer, but Trump decided to follow the middle path, saying, "It seems my donkey has a better sense of direction than I do." As he continued down the isolated road, the sun began to set, and darkness enveloped the area. Suddenly, he heard strange sounds coming from behind the thick trees. He and his donkey stopped and tried to listen carefully. There were rustling and whispers, and a group of people seemed to be hiding in the shadows. Trump, not being naive, knew about bandits and the danger they posed. He had heard many stories about them, so he decided to be cautious. He grabbed his wooden staff, ready to defend himself if necessary. Suddenly, a group of armed men wearing black masks emerged from the trees, wielding long swords. Their leader approached Trump and shouted, "Stop! Hand over everything you have, or you won't leave here alive." Trump smiled calmly and said, It seems I've fallen into a trap. But I'm poor. All I have is this donkey, some dry bread, and water." The bandit leader laughed mockingly. "Don't try to fool us. We know you have hidden money. Everyone knows you're clever and deceitful. So give it up, or you'll never leave here." Trump quickly thought to himself. He knew confronting these men wouldn't be in his favor, so he decided to use his intelligence to get out of this difficult situation. He said slyly, "All right, I'll confess. I have a big secret. If you allow me, I'll share it with you." The bandit leader narrowed his eyes and asked, "What's this secret? Speak quickly, or we'll make you speak our way." Trump pretended to whisper, "I've discovered a buried treasure in this forest, but I was on my way to tell a friend about it. If you promise not to harm me, I'll tell you where it is, and we can split the treasure among us." The words intrigued the bandits, and their leader asked, "Do you think we'll fall for that easily?" Trump smiled confidently and said, "I understand your doubts. Let's make a deal. I'll lead you to the treasure, and if you find nothing, you can take everything I have, including my donkey." The bandits' doubts began to fade, and they started to think there might be a real treasure. The leader said, "Fine, we'll give you a chance. But remember, if you deceive us, you'll never see the sun again." Trump nodded and said, "Follow me, and I'll show you where the treasure is." As Trump led the bandits through the dark forest, he secretly began planning a clever trick to escape. The bandits were following in a long line, and Trump was in the lead. The darkness grew thicker as they walked, and the tall trees blocked the moonlight, increasing the eeriness of the place. Trump began to act focused, glancing left and right and muttering mysterious words, which piqued the bandits' curiosity. After a long walk, Trump suddenly stopped at a large tree and said excitedly, "We've arrived. This tree is the mark I was looking for. The treasure is buried nearby."
The bandit leader looked skeptically at Trump and asked, "Are you sure? I hope you're not playing a game with us." Trump confidently replied, "Don't worry, my friends. I promise you'll see something you never imagined. But I need two of you to help me dig." The bandit leader ordered two of his men to dig by the tree, and the rest watched eagerly. After several minutes of digging, one of the men shouted, "We found something." The bandits rushed to the hole and began removing the dirt eagerly. Soon, they uncovered an old wooden box covered in dust and moss, seemingly buried for a long time. The bandits were stunned, and even their leader couldn't hide his surprise. He looked at Trump and said, "I didn't think you were telling the truth. Open the box now." Trump approached the box, wiped the dust off the surface, and said, "Before I open it, let's make a deal. This treasure belongs to all of us, and we'll divide it equally, right?" The bandit leader agreed, and Trump continued, "But there's one condition. This box contains an ancient spell that protects the treasure. It can only be opened with a special password. If opened incorrectly, it will release a terrible curse." Fear began to creep into the hearts of the bandits. They didn't want to risk being cursed. The leader asked hesitantly, "What's the password?" Trump smiled broadly and said, "I'll tell you the password, but you all must say it together with strong conviction. The password is wealth and safety for all."
The bandits formed a circle around the box and began chanting the phrase in unison, just as Trump had ordered. While they were distracted, Trump quietly took a step back, then jumped onto his donkey's back and shouted, "Hurry, my dear donkey," before they realized the trick. The donkey sped off quickly, leaving the bandits in a state of shock and confusion. They tried to catch up, but the dense darkness and rugged terrain made it difficult. As they ran after him, Trump laughed loudly, saying, "Wealth and safety. We've escaped with my wit once again." The bandits stopped chasing him when they realized they had been fooled and returned to the box, only to find it completely empty. Their anger and frustration grew, but they had no choice but to retreat into the forest defeated. Trump, meanwhile, continued on his way to the village, happy that he had escaped the bandits. Little did he know, however, that his adventure was far from over. The bandits had decided to get their revenge and would track him day and night to capture him once again. Trump and the bandits, Trump, a clever traveler, embarked on a journey to visit an old friend. Along the way, he encountered bandits demanding his possessions. Thinking quickly, Trump spun a tale about a buried treasure, convincing the bandits to follow him into the forest. At a marked tree, he orchestrated an elaborate ruse, claiming a mysterious box held riches protected by a curse. He had the bandits chant a password as he cleverly escaped on his donkey. Realizing the trick too late, the bandits found the box empty. Though Trump's wits saved him, the bandits vowed revenge, ensuring his adventure was far from over.